Guys, welcome back. So in this session, we're going to look into Azure Machine Learning Designer. And so this is what we'll be doing. We'll be creating a pipeline, importing data, preparing the data, training the machine learning model, and evaluating the machine learning model. So before that, I'll have to show you guys how to start with Azure Machine Learning. So first, search for machine learning and then open it. Okay. So inside that, first thing you'll have to do is create a workspace. So I've already created one. I'll show you how to create one. So click on create and then just provide the resource group in which you want to create it. And then come down, just provide a name for the workspace and that's it. You don't have to provide anything else. It'll automatically, for example, if you create any name, it'll all be taken from that name itself. So you don't have to provide anything else. If you have any container registry, you can connect it to it. If you don't have, you can just leave it as none. It'll automatically create one for you. Okay. So, and then you can provide the networking information, make it public. Don't keep it private. So everything else is fine. Then you can just review and create it. So like that, I've created this particular ML workspace. All right. So once you've created it and once it's launched, you will get this option of the Machine Learning Studio. Over here, you can see, right, Studio Web URL. So just open this. So every single operation you will be doing on Azure Machine Learning Studio. But the studio is created within the workspace so that all the resources you create in Azure Machine Learning would be inside of this. Okay, so that's why we're creating this. And over here, you can see I've already done some practice with this. So you see again, I've basically run two different ones and I've like the pipeline run. Okay. So now to experiment with this, there is notebooks, there is automated ML, and there is designer. And over here, you can see pipelines, experiments, datasets, models, endpoints again. There is compute, environments, data stores, data labeling. So over here, right now, I don't have any dataset. You can upload a dataset from your local file. You can create a data store. You can get from website, or you can use from the open datasets which are available right here. Okay. So first thing we'll have to do before starting off with anything is creating a compute. Without a compute instance, you cannot do anything else because you don't have the compute power to run your ML model. So first thing, open compute. You can create a compute instance for practice. For compute clusters, I already told you, you can go from a single node to a multi-node workload. If you are going to put it in a production environment, then compute clusters are the best way to do it. Then inference clusters are for Azure Kubernetes servers. Again, these are even better than the compute clusters. If you want to use Kubernetes, in that case, go with inference clusters. And attached computes, if you already have a compute environment, in that case, go with this and attach that compute cluster directly to this. So you can connect a virtual machine, or you can connect HT inside, you can connect data like inside analytics, so you can connect them. All right. But in our case, I'm just going to go with compute instances. So I'm going to choose this. I'm going to provide it a name. Let's name it practice MLOps. Okay, so this is the name of my compute. So it's going to be CPU, not GPU. I have the standard DS3, so 4 cores, 14 GB of RAM and 28 GB of storage. So here they've also provided the cost. You can choose it accordingly. So this is 2 cores, this is 4 cores. Accordingly, it will be much faster. Okay, so this is memory optimized, but this is general purpose. So I'm going to go with a general purpose workload. And next, advanced settings. So you don't have to set up anything over here, guys. You can just create this instance. Okay, so it'll take a couple minutes to get this up and running. It'll take some time. Only if it's up and running, you can start doing your other operations. So basically, you can create your pipeline, but to deploy it, in that case, you will have to wait for it to be available. All right. And then, so first I'll start with notebooks. I'll give you a brief. So notebooks, you can just start off with an empty notebook. So I'm creating an empty notebook. I'm going to name this practice and creating it. You guys should know about Jupyter notebooks in order for this to work. Okay, so you can see, right, compute is being created. So right now, if I type in print, hello, shift enter. So the output has to show here. It's not running. Why? Because the compute is creating, it's not available yet. So once it's available, we can basically start working with it. All right. Okay. So next, coming to the designer. Okay, so this is where we'll be doing various things. So the project we'll be doing is the automobile price prediction. Okay. So I'll just open this. So right now the computer is not available, right? So that's why it's not showing. So this is the one we'll be doing, and this is what I'm going to be showing you guys. So creating a new pipeline, import data, prepare data, train a machine learning model, and evaluate a machine learning model. So over here you can see this is the data. We are removing one particular column from this, and we are cleaning the missing data. We are splitting it. This would be the 70% of the data. This would be 30% of the data. And over here we're training the model, we're scoring the model, and evaluating the model. So everything is done with the drag and drop feature provided from here. The first thing we've done is using a sample data set. So the sample data set which is used here is the automobile price data set. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this here. All right, so the computer is ready, guys, so we can start working with it. So the automobile price data set, if you want to view it, you can just right click on this and preview data. So this is how the data looks. So I'll just delete this. Okay, now we can connect this to this. Before that, so how to find that? So you can just search for it, select columns in data set. So I'm going to pull this over here. Okay, now you'll have to connect this. Once it's connected, we're going to edit this, and we are including all columns, plus we are excluding normalized losses. Okay, so this is what we are doing. So we are basically including all columns except that one particular column. You can also see that over here all columns are included, excluding one particular column. And then I'm going to delete this too. Okay, then there is clean missing data. And then so basically we are cleaning the missing data in this particular data set. And then we are using the split data option in order to basically split the data into 0.7 and 0.1. So basically, if you just click on this, it'll ask for you what is the fraction of rows. So here, so they've already provided as 0.7. So accordingly, it will basically divide it into 70 to 30%. And accordingly, you can change it. And then over here, I mean, we are using linear regression. You don't even have to add anything else. You can just pull linear regression from here. You can search for it. And you just pull it here. And then train model is used, and we are giving 70% of the data to train model and connecting the linear regression to it. And then we are using score model and evaluate model. So now I'm just going to submit this, and we've not selected compute. That is the problem. So compute instance and the compute we've created. Okay, so it has been selected. Now we can submit it. So select an experiment. We'll create a new one. So experiment is where this is going to run. So I'm going to name it as practice exp1. Configure on failure step. It's fine. If a step fails, it will continue. So submitting it, so the first time it will take around 20 minutes for this to run, guys. So the first time when it runs on a compute, it will take 20 minutes or 17 to 18 minutes for this to complete running. So after that, it will basically show you the output, and then you can basically start publishing it. So publishing it into a pipeline, and once it's published into a pipeline, then it could be deployed finally. Okay, so this will obviously take a long time. So you can view the run over here. So as I told you, so right now this is completed. That is, the columns are selected, the data is cleaned, and then the data is split into 70-30. The data is being trained right now. So each model will take its own time to complete. So each section will take its own time to complete. The run overview is provided over here. And you can see right now the runtime is 9 minutes 5 seconds. So as I told you, the first run will always take more time. From the second run, the time taken will reduce. So right now you guys can see the model has been scored, and right now it is in evaluation state. So let's see what this code model has given us. So we can see the preview, the scored data set. And over here you can see it has provided a histogram for every single column. Also it has provided scored labels for every single row. So the mean, median, min, max for every single column will be provided according to the value of the column. So basically every single thing would be scored and provided to you. So once the evaluation is done, and yeah, so evaluation is also done. Let's refresh it. Let's view an overview. So it's still running, so it's still completing up, but this has been completed, the evaluation. And let's see the evaluation results. So it cannot find it because it's still in running stage. Let's just wait until it completes. Also, what we can do is, if you want to register this as a data set, we can register it and it will be stored in the data set part. So over here, and then we can use this code data set every time we want. So now the run has been finished, guys. So now we can see what the evaluated data looks like. We can preview it or we can access it. So let's view the evaluation results. So this is where it is stored, everything. The data set is available here. Yeah, visualization. So all the files are available over here, guys. Okay, so let me go back here. So now with this, we can create a real-time pipeline, and then using that pipeline, we can deploy it. So you can see it here, right? So we can submit this. So once it runs, then we can deploy this. So once it is deployed, then basically everything is set up. You can just monitor this particular complete ML model directly from the Azure Machine Learning tool itself. So we don't need anything else. So this is basically the demo I wanted to show you guys. And let me go back here and let me just show you the notebook one and then finish up. So this is the compute which is running. So I'm gonna execute it. So now you can see it has been working. So it's working fine. And also one more thing you can do is you can create a file. So let's say I'm creating a file named hello.py. I'm creating it. So again, even in this file, you can start writing your code like normal. So I'm just again going to just print hello, and I'm gonna save it and execute it. So now it will open the terminal. So because this will be running in this particular terminal, and you can see the output has been provided. Okay, so if it is the notebook, the output will run in the kernel and the output will be displayed in the notebook itself. If it is a file, it will be displayed in the compute terminal which we have created for ourselves. So this is basically Azure Machine Learning, guys. So I hope you guys understood what exactly goes on here, and also over here you can see the run which we recently made it completed. And if we have created data sets, the data sets will be shown here. If you have created a model, the model will show here. The compute which we created, that will also show here. So once you've done with it, so I would suggest you to delete the model when it's not required, because models obviously cost a lot. So when you're done with it, delete your compute so that you don't have to basically waste your money on things which are running. Okay. So then one more thing, you can just delete the workspace and it will delete all the resources under it. So this is basically Azure Machine Learning. You can start by learning Azure Machine Learning before moving on to the ML model, guys. So once you've learned this, once you've just worked with this, and once everything is done, so basically once you've learned Azure, once you've learned certain tools like Kubernetes and Docker, and then we'll be giving you the Capstone project. The Capstone project will be having the Kubernetes service. The Capstone project will be having an algorithm which will basically push the data into a remote database. Okay, so that's what will be happening over there. So this is it for this session, guys.